'Cause I'm just a girl who can't say no, can't seem to say it at all.
Kentaro Miura died on May 6, 2021. He died silently and suddenly, forcing the world to cope with the loss of a master in the sequential arts. His friends made tributes, the world mourned, and his assistants finished the roughs for what could possibly be the last chapter of Berserk. A piece of media that has not only influenced dark fantasy as a subgenre and various pieces of pop culture thereafter, Berserk stands at the precipice of what could be considered a masterpiece in more than one way. Contrary to popular belief, at least on the surface level, Berserk is a thoughtful and existential work. It explores a myriad of topics between pages upon pages of gorish action and body horror, delves into sensitive subjects like religion and mental health with a surprising level of care and tact. It is not perfect, it is not the epitome of artistry and devoid of problematic storytelling methods, but it is truly beautiful. One of the major themes of Berserk, however, is the impact of violence and a ceaseless quest for revenge. And this theme, this one major element of Berserk storytelling, from the Golden Age all the way to Fantasia, is the one thing that sticks out the most upon reading. It is clearly something Miura meditated on for the sake of developing Guts' character, tried tying into the very nature of his brutal and often depressing world. The persona of the Black Swordsman embodies this violence, the way Guts must move about the world in order to further his cause and ultimately face Griffith head-on. He's embraced his violent nature, embodied by the Beast of Darkness, and struggles to keep it in check even when times are calm. Yet, he finds some solace. He grows, changes, becomes a man that is more than the callous persona he puts on. And as Berserk ends on its 364th chapter, you can argue Guts has found some level of peace, some resolution to the journey he set out on all those years ago. However, that journey is far, far from over, and we may never see the ending in our lifetime. So, what does this have to do with a novelty manga released in 1992 about the KKK being literal demons in the Old West, and its revenge-seeking protagonist with a gun attached to his fist? Blaster Knuckle was created by Shizuya Wazaraii, a high school friend of Kentaro Miura who served as, like many of his high school friends, inspiration for characters in his own work. Many have speculated people such as Wazaraii and Koji Mori were the basis for characters such as Corcus and Judo in the Band of the Hawk. Who Miura actually based who on is unknown, however. As a result, Wazaraii remained friends with Miura into adulthood, eventually publishing Blaster Knuckle in the exact same magazine as Berserk. Young Animal is a Seinen magazine spun out of a previous Seinen Mag monthly Animal House, created by Hakusensha, part of the Hitotsubashi group of publishers that run the current monopoly on manga printed in Japan. I'd also like to mention before anything else that Young Animal publishes manga alongside pinups of gravure models in their late teens to early 20s. I digress. This is as much information I've really found on Blaster Knuckle, as there have been no major interviews or reasons for its cancellation beyond maybe low sales or reader retention. Perhaps I missed a statistic or article of some kind, but even Wazaraii hasn't mentioned Blaster Knuckle in ages, especially since its current ongoing, the much more well-received gladiator manga Cestvs, has been more successful in the mainstream. That doesn't really change the fact that Blaster Knuckle indeed exists and was published alongside Miura's work for at least a year. As such, there are some superficial similarities between the earlier chapters of Berserk and Blaster Knuckle, albeit aesthetically instead of more literal stand-ins. That's sadly where these parallels end, though. Because while Berserk ended up evolving by going backward in time, further studying Guts as a character and diving deep into his motivations, Blaster Knuckle was cancelled just when that semblance of an arc was about to begin. The story revolves around, of course, the KKK are actually flesh-eating beast demons. They operate similar to werewolves in that they die from silver bullets and can only achieve their true form when the moon is raised. Our protagonist, Victor Freeman, is the son of a slave who was burned at the stake in front of him before being eaten alive, taken in by a secret society of demon hunters known as the Silver Crews. Being trained in not only mind and body, Victor was made into an agent of the Silver Crews, but inevitably strikes out on his own for the sake of furthering his own goal: total eradication of all beast demons. Breaking the rules the Silver Crews made about hunting in the process. An outlaw in the eyes of the Order and the United States government, Victor Bloody Rain Freeman travels the east of the Mississippi, hunting down any demons he can find, regardless of physical age or gender. It's also stated that Victor is in fact world heavyweight champion at the time, something that's later justified by his training with the Silver Cruz, but of course is not historically accurate. The first African-American heavyweight champion was actually 2 decades after the event of the manga, in 1908. The first iteration of the clan also fell before the events of the manga, so again there are clear inaccuracies, but that's to be ignored for the sake of action. I mean, Steel Ball Run is incredibly inaccurate, but we don't care because it's pure entertainment at the end of the day, a story worth telling in its own version of the world. Blaster Knuckle can be excused in the same way, as its main focus is the action and horrific circumstances, but I feel like acknowledging this is important. This is, without a doubt, the only major African-American protagonist we've ever gotten in a seinen manga, or any manga for that matter, outside of side characters. Victor Freeman, without even meaning to, is an incredibly important character in the history of manga as a non-racist depiction of a black man in a culture that is incredibly xenophobic toward other races or treats them as novelties. The word novelty is often used to describe Blaster Knuckle, a product of its time and something somewhat absurd enough to garner attention. Regardless of its quality, the selling point is as clear as day, and it intrigues readers looking for a new action series with an easy-to-grasp premise. Victor is, despite being a literal murder-hungry, anger-driven killing machine, in the right for the entire manga. Sure, his morals are called into question by people that don't know about the beast demons, and his own regrets about killing people of his own race when they're possessed by demons, but it's all brushed aside. Victor Freeman may be an anti-hero, but his cause is 100% justified in his situation. We do meet another member of the Silver Cruz in the form of Alex Mcgregor, someone who knew Victor since he was a child, but in the end they just go their separate ways after tag teaming on a demon together. Sure, Victor is a wanted man and Alex was told to kill him by the Silver Cruz, but of course he doesn't go through with it. They both literally say they love murder, and they don't give a shit about the bureaucracy of their mentors. The action is solid, obviously. I don't feel the need to list the physical abilities of our main protagonist outside of noting his weapon of choice is a 5-finger death punch with bullets. What I do want to talk about, though, are the glimmers of good storytelling it employs, because Blaster Knuckle does have them. By the end of the manga, we have a decent arc or two outside of introducing what the setting is and who Victor is by proxy. We have our main side character, Alex Mcgregor, go through an arc of his own when a child dies on his watch. We have the idea that there's a bigger world out there than just the KKK eating people, that the history of this world is greater than we anticipated. We even see, in some ways, Victor's struggle with guilt and his own inability to help people of his own race. There are semblances of good character moments here, a plot that could go somewhere, but ends in a way that I have to compare to Berserk. You see, Guts as the Black Swordsman persona in the first chapters of Berserk is different from the Black Swordsman we see post-Golden Age. He's a cold, heartless beast who kills without prejudice and pushes anyone away that could gain some sort of attachment to him. You get this feeling that Guts likes killing, revels in the brutality he's able to enact. However, it's revealed later on that this is all a ruse. Guts doesn't like killing, but it's all he knows. He acts the way he does, strikes fear into others because of his attachment issues, his desire for revenge against Griffith for Casca and his sake. He puts on a mask of ambivalence to hide the real pain he feels, the true objective he has, and the heart that still beats within him. That mask cracks over time, showing the true heroic person Guts can be despite his rough exterior. We never get to see Victor Freeman reach that point. We end with him saying he'll continue his revenge quest no matter what, needing no one as he rides off into the new day on his stallion. We explore his guilt in similar place in the world. Even in the Hunting Tour arc, we get a similar moment to the Black Swordsman arc, where a wagon's inhabitants turn into demons and our protagonist is forced to kill them against his best wishes. It shocks both Guts and Victor, but Guts tries to play it off for Puck. Victor, on the other hand, has it haunt him to some extent, even knowing he's killed children before. It's a point of depth the character has we never explore. It's something beyond his initial motivation revolving around his father's death we can latch onto. It's something real for Victor, but the story ends with him reaffirming his violent worldview. Victor doesn't change, his resolve just grows all the more while he's warned that the Silver Cruz are now after him. Blaster Knuckle depresses me because of this, because it deserved to not just be a novelty, it had the potential to be something more than just mindless violence. It had a setting unique into itself, themes to explore in a similar way to its contemporaries. And it didn't. Around the same time as Blaster Knuckle's cancellation, Berserk had entered the Golden Age, and the rest is history. It truly changed the game, and Blaster Knuckle was left to the wastebin of history. A joke, almost. Something that's meant to be read once, thought of as nothing but dumb fun, and forgotten just as quickly. Do I recommend you read Blaster Knuckle for its story? No, I don't. It's literally unfinished. But do I recommend it as the novelty it is? A piece of manga history that shouldn't be forgotten, and thought of in some ways as wasted potential or what could have been, as blunt as that sounds? Go for it. I think there is good within Blaster Knuckle. It's a breezy read, all things considered, and worth at least a glimpse. When I think of Blaster Knuckle, however, I get slightly annoyed still or depressed about the possibilities its story could have had. Character development we never saw. Instead of a man growing from the violence he's been embroiled in his entire life, Victor Freeman rides on. He continues his quest to kill those who killed his father, and nothing between heaven and earth can stop him. Not even himself. Thank you for watching.